Can you spot the difference between a $400 to $800 strings library and a free one? Let's play a little game. I will play 5 versions of a 30 seconds demo and you guess the library for each demo in the comments. After the listening part, we will look at the solution together and summarize each library's performance. Don't peek and watch from beginning to end. Bonus objective: one of these libraries is free. Spot it. If you identify all 5 libraries correctly, you are a true master of the strings library. The demo is written for violins, violas, cellos and basses and uses a couple of articulations to give each library a chance to shine. It starts with happy pizzicatos, then adds legato lines with a few portamentos and short notes in between, and ends with accentuated spiccatos. I adjusted the MIDI for each library to optimize timings, velocities, modulation, and in one case the volume. Can you spot them all and tell the difference between an $800 and a free product? Guess the library. Let's go. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Are you ready for the big reveal? If you want to listen to the examples again, do it now. Alright, here we go. We have Cinematic Studio Strings on number 1, followed by Audio Imperia's Araya. Then, number 3 is our free pick, Splitfire Audio's BBCSO Discover. We continue with Afladis on number 4, and finish up with Tokyo Scoring Strings. As always, CSS's sound is great and the legato smooth and silky. In the legato lines, CSS switches between the long and short notes with a consistent tone and overall sounds quite musical. However, for the legatos, this one took me the most time to edit. For timing adjustments, I had to manually tweak velocities and nudge notes around, as CSS uses 3 different legato speeds. This allows more control over how the legato lines flow, but also takes more time to get right. Araya sounds a bit flatter here compared to the CSS performance, but keep in mind that I chose the classic mix. The modern mix sounds richer, and I used it for the cello spiccatos to give them more energy. Those sound really snappy. For the high viola and violin legatos, the modern mix would have sounded a bit too harsh in this case, so I picked the classic one. The legato is focused and straight to the point, with less romantic slurs and glides, and more of a precise get shit done approach. Araya has no portamentos. This one was easy to program. I set the legato delay to minus 250 milliseconds and didn't have to nudge any notes. I think the library is primarily aimed at cinematic and trailer music, where it needs to pierce through busy walls of sound with its modern mix. But it still holds up well with the classic mix here, and shows that it's not just an epic one-trick pony. This one surprised me. BBC's Discover actually holds up quite nicely with the other libraries, despite being available for free. What gives it away the most is the lack of legato in the melody. But honestly, it still works pretty well. The switch between the short and long articulation in the viola melody is super smooth, and the pizzicatos are decent as well. In the cello spiccatos, it becomes more obvious that there are no round-robin samples. But then again, showing all 5 demos to my girlfriend, she wasn't able to spot it at all. I think this example proves that you don't need expensive flagship libraries to get started with orchestral music production. Casual listeners may not even notice, and libraries like BBC's Discover are a great entry point. Afladis comes with dozens of patches in different styles and atmospheres. I picked the master key switch patches, which should give the most normal, standard sound here. Afladis is the most expensive library in this video, but keep in mind that what you hear is just a tiny fraction of what the library has to offer. The violin pizzicatos sound quite unique here. I lowered the velocities to a bare minimum and even lowered the volume a bit, and yet it seems like the players pluck the strings a bit harder than in the other libraries, and they have a quite percussive quality. The Afladis master key switch patches have no portamento glides. I only had to do very minor timing adjustments for a couple of legato notes, and it works quite well. The legato is tight and does the job, and overall the strings ensemble sounds cohesive and natural. Tokyo Scoring Strings is known for its smaller section size and precise performance with a focused studio sound. It sounds quite close and direct, and manages to switch between the different articulations with ease. This one was by far the easiest to program, as the look-ahead mode took care of the articulation and timing adjustments for me. I simply had to quantize everything to the grid, decide on the note lengths, and the library picked the suitable articulations. No note nudging required, and the sound is gorgeous. How did it go? Are you the true master of the strings library? Or did you find out that maybe it doesn't matter so much what exact libraries we use? Because after all, they're strings. Strings with different features and details, but in the end, we are in charge of the music they play.